You know, we're in that era of television now where we like to go back in history and find stuff. Like, we wanted to go find stuff and learn things. Vikings are a big part of the conversation. Like you, myself, many of us, we learned an awful lot about Viking culture, not from high school, but from Led Zeppelin lyrics. And, you know, Valhalla, I Am Coming, there's a lot of key stuff we need to learn there. And people celebrate Vikings now, but if you ever ran into a Viking, I've never met one that wasn't a dick. They're all, well, with the pillaging and the other thing and the swords, it's really, it's a bad scene. But History Channel's got this new series called Vikings. People are really digging it. And one of the stars on it also happens to be from this show called Glee, which I think they're both very similar. Sort of a brute love, unrequited, cultural changing. I might be stretching on that one. All right, so star of Vikings, Jessalyn Gilsig's her name. She's going to be in the red chair, but first, let's take a look at the show.
See what you've done, my lord. Never doubt your power. With just a few words, you've stripped Ragnar Lothbrok of all his treasure. He's nothing to you. You are all power, all authority.
Jessalyn Gilsig, everybody! Great to see you.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
How's things?
Fantastic, thank you.
Congratulations on Vikings.
Yes, thank you. I'm very excited.
That's the thing, because it's not just a drama about, it's not a period piece, it's on History Channel, so you have a different responsibility in a sense. Don't you feel that?
Yeah, I think that that's true. I think that there's a built-in audience with the History Channel, but what I love about Michael Hurst, our writer, is he's adamant that it's a period piece, that it's not a reenactment.
I understand why people would draw comparisons to any show like this to Game of Thrones because it's so big, but it's not nearly as gratuitous, I don't find.
Yeah, I think that's very deliberate. Well, what I think the distinction is, I'm always a little protective of shows being compared because, you know, there are multiple hospital shows, but that doesn't make them the same. But what I like so much about what we're doing with the Vikings is it's not magic realism, it's their realism. They believed in human sacrifice. They believed in destiny. They believed in a seer, just like some people believe in a virgin birth.
Right.
You know, so for them it was their truth. It was their reality.
I think most people's understanding of Vikings either come from credit card commercials like the Capital One ones,
Yeah.
or the Asterisk and Obelix series.
Well, that's it. You'll never see the horns on our
Yeah, there's none of that.
show. No.
In fact, there's super hipster haircuts in this, right? It's, if you look at these haircuts in this series, you're like, my God, that's really modern. There will be a rock band from Portland that will rock that dude.
You know, I'm wondering, it's funny you say that because I'm wondering with the guys, I got so used to beards and long hair, and then I would sort of go out after work and I'd be like, a shaven man is a weird thing.
Any show like this, lots of big characters are going to die. We know that for a little girl who liked to pretend to die all the time. You did, right? This is what
I did want to have consumption
right.
as a child. I thought that would be really cool. If I was sick, I would lie on the couch at home, and then I would make my family come around me, and then I would sort of have my death speech. Yeah. I had a great family. I don't know.
How old were you roughly when this was happening?
You know, I was really obsessed with like Little Women books and
Yeah.
Anne of Green Gables. So anything, what is that, like 9, something like that.
So what kind of music were you? Music a part of your life? Like, I mean, at that point, I would have been listening to maybe Alice Cooper, so I could see where that would work for me.
Oh, see, you're so cool.
No, it wasn't cool.
I wasn't cool. No, I mean, I adore my parents. They were not hip. And so we had no rock music.
Right.
And so there was a Canadian a cappella group that had a little bit of a, and I thought that was exciting. Like I would listen to that like it was, like you said, like it was Alice Cooper.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that pop culture history in your head because you never watched a lot of it, who have you crossed on a lot once and not known that they were an actor? And have you had one of those
who
moments?
I just met was the Property Brothers.
Yeah.
I was flying here and I was sitting beside one of them and I didn't know who he was,
right.
but I felt terrible because all the flight attendants were coming by and giving him free things.
Right.
And I was like,
And
never
you're like,
watched Glee. Hello.
What's up? Glee's a great example of a show that can be incredibly mainstream and have a cultural value that will extend beyond its run.
It definitely is. You know, I did 2 shows for Ryan Murphy. I did Nip Tuck as well. What I thought was just so amazing about him is he's just on the pulse of the moment. You know, Nip Tuck, I think, came out of a time of great decadence in American culture and where there was such excess and people were trying to heal themselves from the outside in. And then it's almost like that ended, you know, literally in a day. And then Glee came from this place of finding where people who really want to connect through an impulse that may not be popular and may not make you the cool kid, but you can't resist that need.
Right.
And that became so relatable, I think, for all of us, obviously.
Let's go back early, and see if this has any impact on you.
I think this year we should go to the dance all dressed up. Upsy daisy. Want to see a mask, Luke? Watch carefully.
How did you find that?
Hey, what are you doing? You'll see. There.
Woo!
Like your new mask, Tim?
If you watch NFB stuff, and you should, that's Masquerade, right? That's you voicing it.
That's probably my second job. It might be my first job.
you're a
That's my
kid then,
first
right?
job. I remember the audition, I had to sing Happy Birthday, and that was it.
How old are you?
I was 12, I think.
Right.
I can't believe I feel so old.
Okay, here we go. Where are they now with some of your previous characters' lives? Lauren Davis, Boston Public, still busting balls as a private school teacher?
I heard you transferred to administration.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Terry? Finally over Will yet, or
No, she's
No?
coming back.
keeping it together?
Never say die.
Never say die. You need that, right? So great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And
I really
congrats on
appreciate
Vikings.
it. Thank you.
Good done. Vikings Sundays, you can watch it on History TV. Good family viewing as well. Jessalyn Gilsig, everybody. We'll be right back.